maybe I'm looking at it too much, but it's ridiculous.
Maybe they push them all up the alley to the street every day for the trucks to come round.
You pass like 12 of them.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Buyer's remorse.
Hello and welcome to Buyer's Remorse. I'm Darren.
I'm Justin.
On Buyer's Remorse, we force each other to play a game for 60 minutes that's been sitting in our library unplayed and give it a shot and see if it's a buyer's confirmation, something that we love, or a horrible buyer's remorse, something that goes straight to the trash can. I chose an interesting game for you this week. I've played this. I want to see what you think about it.
I know you played it. Well, I didn't know if you just farmed it for cards, but you...
I did farm it for cards at first.
But you left a recommendation, so that's usually a good indicator that you actually have played it. The game is Killer is Dead, the Nightmare Edition.
Oh, yeah.
The developer is Katakawa Games and Grasshopper Manufacturer, publisher Deep Silver.
Oh, this is a Deep Silver game. Man.
Well, as a publisher, yeah. Overall, 3,000... reviews, mostly positive, 20 recents with very positive. It's about $20 at base. I'm sure I didn't pay that much for it. So you've played this. You've also recommended it on Steam.
I know exactly where we got this.
Okay, go ahead.
We got this when Humble was doing they were giving those free games when they were transitioning to IGN. Yeah, this was one of those. So you didn't pay a dime for this game.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. It's made by, in the Steam description, renowned designer Suda51.
Oh, it's a Suda51 game. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's known for this art style stuff. So
okay, the art style is definitely very unique, the way that they use color and shadow, but I'm not sure I'm sold on it. This game is... This is definitely your kind of game. Because you like Devil May Cry, because you like Darksiders, this feels a bit like that.
Yeah.
It's way more involved than, say, God of War, which would be much more my style of hack and slash. It is told in chapters or episodes. So we have episode 1, The Man Who Chose the Moon, I think. There's a cutscene. There's a sword wielder who is our character. We're going to find out is called Mondo.
Way ahead of his time.
About to take on some sort of cyborg, a man who has a gun for an arm. The cyborg shoots, Mondo just blocks all of the shots, which is not something I can actually do in the game.
No.
And the cyborg calls our character the Executioner. It's basically a tutorial section, so it's a tutorial for walking and looking around. We're going to walk through an alley there are so many dumpsters in this alleyway. It's just ridiculous. And most of the dumpsters have no door near them at all. And there's no way a garbage truck could fit through here. It makes no sense to me. They're going for atmosphere over any sort of logic. And maybe I'm looking at it too much, but it's ridiculous.
Maybe they push them all up the alley to the street every day for the trucks to come round.
You pass like 12 of them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
We're going to get another cutscene at the end where the cyborg pops up from behind us. Of course, we're a cyborg too, but I don't know that yet. The other character refers to our character as the Darkness, I think, or just says the Darkness, but not to be confused with Images, the Darkness, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the band.
We're basically going to chop off his hand. Purple light will swirl around him and up to the moon. And I get a B.
I forgot that. I hate when games do this, man. Don't judge me. Don't give me a grade on how bad I was, you assholes.
I love that you hate this, but you play so many of these kind of games. Devil May Cry is
it's
the
all
worst.
about that. Yeah,
It's the worst for that.
I hate it. But I like the story and I like the gameplay, so I put up with it. But man, Capcom is terrible for this. They do it in Resident Evil, even, where they give you a letter grade at the end of each chapter, and like, just shut up, don't grade me. I don't need an A+. And it's not even an A+ that they give you. It's not a conventional grade. It's like, oh, you got an S. That means special. Like, come on.
I don't know if there's a special in this one, because I certainly didn't. I didn't get anything higher than a B. I don't know how much better you could be at this one. I guess do it faster.
Maybe.
There's nothing to do in this one.
Yeah.
You're going to get a tally of the money you earn from this one for toughness and cool kills and a bunch of other things.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could go back after you have more powers and do a better kill or something.
That's probably what it is.
Episode 2. I feel like I haven't even really played. I walked down an alleyway, hit the button they told me to, and now I'm being jumped into episode 2, where there's a long cutscene of a chessboard. Then there's a voice that keeps telling Mondo it's time. Oh, right. I skipped the intimate moment between the man and the woman, which is Mondo and whatever woman he's with at the moment. He tells Mika over a radio, I guess, to spill wine on the target and leave the rest to him. And then we're going to end up getting to fight the enemies known as the Wires, which are just these all black demon-looking things that are carrying a weapon that just looks like a table lamp. It's so
I don't remember that part at all. It's been a long time since I played it.
I suspect that these are the main enemies, the main fodder that you have to run through all the time. They have this weapon that has a white orb at the end.
Okay. Nah, it's still not ringing any bells.
Okay, well, maybe they go away afterwards, but for the first hour, that's mostly what I saw.
Okay.
I am going to say at this point, too, the voice acting is very weird in this game. It's so weird. It's like nobody really seems to be interacting with each other. The dialogue, the way it's written, does not sound natural at all. Some of it doesn't even really seem to connect to what's on the screen or what each other is saying. And some of the animation, it looks as though they said, do the animation and we'll write the story later.
That's maybe what they did.
Okay. Does it get better later in the game?
I define better.
We get to combat, as I said, the Wires, these thugs. You just slash them. I was using a controller, so a lot of X button. And then if you hold the X button, you can do a moon slash, which is more powerful. This is going to get us eventually to the end of this part where you are replacing some character. So there's a whole bit with Mika and this character saying, oh, you spilled wine on me. I'm going to do something bad to you. Oh, are you here to replace me? Like I said, the dialogue is so weird, and the way that's animated just feels so weird. He seems to have a beard that's a cyborg that seems to wrap into his body or something.
Oh, I know the guy I know who you're talking about now. Yeah, that's right. This is like almost like the corporate office that they're in, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you have a command to do some sort of super kill thing. So you have to smash the button over and over again, and it looks like you just completely obliterate the guy. But then he's in a cutscene talking to the chief, who's basically like a combination Jax and Kano.
Yeah.
He has like the whole half of his body is gone and been replaced by cybernetics of some sort, but also is smoking a big cigar and is like he looks like Jax.
Yeah, he does.
Except that Jax is just his arms. This guy is like, he's very weird, and he's the one where the dialogue just works with the least. It just doesn't seem to connect. But they're having this whole conversation. This guy who's being replaced says, I don't know, he speaks of the darkness. And our boss, who I guess is called Brian, I guess that's the Jax-like character, says, I ate the darkness. And kind of like, I ate the darkness for breakfast. The old killer, after the conversation is done, takes a sip of wine. The chief says, the vintage or something, like, it's a very good wine. And then the guy just explodes and falls apart. Because apparently Mondo did slash him completely up. But
put him on a timer like a toaster to pop.
Yeah. Here are all the cuts, but they won't come into effect for 5 minutes.
It's like the old Fist of the North Star. What is it? You're already dead. Isn't it? Yeah.
It's something like that, yeah. Yeah, so he falls to pieces. Now episode 3.
Moving on.
Okay. Episode 3. There's it's just a weird thing where you're on a boat. You can tell because the window is circular. It's a porthole.
Okay.
And another smaller boat comes flying up and throws a piece of paper at your window, which sticks. And Mondo says, "Oh, we've got a job. I've been hired." And Mika says, "Oh, have I been hired too?" And he says, "No, you didn't do a good job. You failed." And she throws a temper tantrum on the bed. And he says, but I'll need an assistant. And she gets really happy about that. Oh, really? Okay, well, I can help you. She's just the most manga anime with her voice.
Yeah.
And the choices of dialogue. And I don't like her. I don't like her at all. And you have to put up with her because she's very important. If you die, she's the one who comes to save you, which is awful. I hate that bit so much. We are going to have a meeting with Vivian, the chief, and a guy called Robert, who is our client. He says there's a monster living next to him. He's drawn it up. So we get to see that there's some weird bits here where they seem to be talking about the client as though he's not there, but then at the end of the scene, he's still there. This is what I mean. Like, it just feels like they've not put it together. I wonder if this is originally in Japanese, right?
I don't know.
No idea?
No idea.
I'm just wondering if in whatever original language it is, if it makes sense, because in English, it doesn't. And if it was written in English, oh my goodness, what is going on? This goes on for a long time. Like, all these cutscenes, they take longer than actual getting to play the game.
The levels, yeah.
Vivian is going to take Mondo and Mika to Robert's house, because the monster lives next door on a motorcycle. So she's got a motorcycle with a sidecar. Mondo will ride on the back with her, and Mika will ride in the sidecar. And they're going to go into this house. Mondo enters, and he's going to, you can destroy a bunch of stuff on the way. There's,
of course, barrels.
Cat statues, yeah.
Yeah, barrels to destroy or something like that, yeah.
Let me stop and talk about this for a minute.
Okay.
This game is so obsessed with telling you everything.
Is it? I can't remember. Tell me.
Every time you get into one of these levels where you're actually playing, before you can do anything, there's going to be about 5 text boxes that pop up to explain something else you can do.
Okay.
Oh, you can do this move. Oh, you can upgrade your character. Oh, you can do this. You can do this. Before most of your fights. Oh, you can also do this. And you can do this. It's like, oh, there's just either too much going on or just too much explaining and not letting me play. What the game needs is a tutorial or a set of tutorial missions that you could practice with instead of just throwing up these text boxes all the time. And there's just so much going on in this game, as you're going to see from this level. So I can cut one of these statues, I pick up something, and this is where I get a text box that says, oh, these pickups can be used to upgrade certain things. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay. But it's not like one, you have to read through 4 of these things. You are going to meet a character who is Elisa, who looks like Alice in Wonderland, but grown up.
Yeah. This is the level I remember.
And basically, that's on purpose because the whole thing is meant to be sort of Alice in Wonderland. I don't like that. Alice in Wonderland is way overused. And to throw it in here just feels like, I don't know if I want to say lazy, but unoriginal would definitely fit. Her sister is having problems or something, so we need to get upstairs to find her sister. But we need to go out into the main room and go through all these other rooms first. So a door opens up. There are presents that you can cut, but they don't seem to have anything in them. I don't know what they were about. You can get into this room then. That's all you can do. Whereas this main room, it's all weird and the shapes are everywhere, upside down. There's a piano set of stairs which are spread throughout the air above you. So you know that you're going to have to beat these rooms to get the room to start coming together. You go in and now here's another time where you're going to get lots of messages. Oh, some enemies can guard. You can break their guard by pressing that Y button. And if you, it's always one button for, like, if you just press it quickly and one for if you hold.
Right.
You can also dash. I think this is a time where you learn about dashing and dodging. It's like, oh, okay, this is a lot to all learn right now.
Yeah, in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, okay. So you can beat them. And yeah, I think this room looks upside down or something. You're going to go to the next room after things shift a bit. And this is basically the Cheshire Cat, I think. It's just a giant purple thing that attacks you with claws. You can behead it. This is where you learn about beheading. You get to the main room here. And I think this is where you're attacking the wires again. But now sometimes you can choose which button to hit to finish them off. And if you hit that button, that chooses what kind of drop you get. So whether you're going to get more blood, which can power up your gun arm, or you're going to get the crystals that you can use to level up and get different powers. There are 4 different things you can earn, and I don't know what sets off this choice. If there's a special move to do it, or if it just happens. Because in this case, it just felt like it just happened because the tutorial is doing it for me. Mm-hmm. With each victory here, you get things like a cupcake or a plant, and you give those to Elisa, and that's what triggers the next thing to happen. We're going to get through, I think it's after the Cheshire Cat, where you go into a room and Mika just happens to be here. There is a lamp that is turning itself on and off, or she's turning it off and then it lights itself. This is where you learn to use your gun arm, because you need to shoot all 4 lamps quickly to make them all go out at the same time. And then you can do the next section. This is going to take you to the top of the stairs. So now you have the piano stairs. You can get to the top. There's this hallway with tons of 8 or 10 of these cat statues that you can chop in half and get power-ups. And then the last one is a woman named Scarlet. She just pops out magically. She has a syringe that's about 4 foot tall. She can give you blood, and I guess she has some sort of missions you can do, but I have no idea. It's so bonkers. I don't know what is going on with her or why that exists.
I do remember her. Yeah, the nurse. She's in a nurse's outfit with the giant syringe. That's right. Yeah, I forgot about her.
You go into the room. This is where the boss fight happens. There is just sweets. It's a room made of giant gingerbread men and cookies and things. And you're going to talk to Alice, and Alice is eventually going to... I'm not even going to get into the story bit here, but Alice is going to basically become a scorpion spider thing that will attack you. I hated this fight so much. I really hate this. So you can attack, and this is where you learn, if you hit the B button, you can block. But you can only block certain things, and just before they are attacking, they'll hit red. So you want to do a perfect block, but only if you can do a perfect block. It's like, I don't understand your instructions. Just make it clear. Like, when it's red, I can block it. If I can't block it, then don't make them turn red. Like, just choose one. You basically have to keep, what I did was dodging around and attacking. You get it down to 0, and when you get it down to 0, it just climbs on the wall as though nothing happened. The health shouldn't go down to 0. The bar was empty. Gone. Done. And then you have to, I believe it's at this point, it will either shoot purple slime at you, which kills you, or it will drop these little insects that will attack you as well. None of it is, that part is fun. You have to shoot the boss as she's crawling around the walls and ceiling, enough to get her to fall down, and then on her back you can attack and get to the point where you can slash off one of the limbs. I died a couple times here. You can use a Mika ticket where she comes in, and there's a mini game of smashing the X button to bring you back to life.
I don't remember that part.
So you have this option. The option is to do the checkpoint, start before the fight even began, or use one of these tickets, and then you can start from here. There's a whole thing with a heart monitor, and you have to smash that button until you come back to life. You can go all the way to 0, but then you come back to life. Boom. And then you're starting from where you left off.
Full health again?
Yes, you're at full health, I think. But again, you can get the creature all the way to 0, and the same thing will happen. You have to chop off both front arms, and then there's another part where you have to cut off the head.
Right.
It's a long fight. I'm not much of a boss fight person, but there it is. I guess I should talk about the story just a little bit, just because she talks about having encountered a scary man on the moon.
Yes. And
the scary man, his name was... Tell me. Mondo's very curious. What's his name? His name was David.
Yeah, man. David. He's a real piece of work, man.
I mean, you don't have a last name?
Classic Dave.
There's more than one.
Beckham.
But this leads into the end part here of this mission where you get to...
David Jason. On the moon.
You get to see another cutscene where Robert says his death has been avenged. He's been dead the whole time. He's looking in the box going, yes, Alice, now you're dead. Now my death has been avenged. And he disappears.
Yeah.
So weird.
Did you get to the next mission, though?
All right. So here's the thing. My time was pretty much up at this point.
Okay.
I had maybe 5 minutes left to go. This is another time where the game just inundates you with information because you go back to the mission select, which is the globe, where you can spin it around.
Right. You can select
Suddenly now there are 6 more missions. Before it was 1 at a time.
Right.
But most of these missions are what they refer to as gigolo missions.
Oh, God, I forgot about this part. Yeah.
I don't know how you forgot about this part. I figured this is why you made me play this game. This is... I played 1, which went into the beyond the hour, but let's talk about it because this is the most ridiculous part of the game. I think, within the first hour, this would be the most ridiculous.
It's even dumber, but yeah.
But these whole missions, they're awful.
Yeah.
Not only are they awful gameplay-wise, but they're just awful. Like, I don't think I've ever felt as dirty as I did playing this mission. You have to, from the office, buy presents, like a pack of gum, which is $10, or a flower, which is $1,600.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you buy one, they jump up by, like, the gum went up to being, like, $1,000 now. That's quite a hike. When they said, when you buy one, the price will go up, I thought they meant a little bit.
Yeah.
Not $10,000. Yeah. And you cannot win these missions without buying gifts. So if you run out of gifts, you can't win this mission.
Yeah.
So you have to buy these gifts to give to these women. You go on a date at a bar. The one I went to anyway.
Yeah.
You're on a date at a bar, and the woman just keeps saying stuff to you. And we have these glasses that apparently Vivian, our female boss, gave us that allows us to x-ray vision to see their underwear. But you can't stare too much or they get creeped out. So you have to look away occasionally. But you can't get to the point where you can give them gifts unless you fill up your gut meter. And you have to fill up your gut meter by staring at them pervily through these glasses. And as you're looking at different parts of the body, points pop up. And then you give them a present and their heart meter goes to a certain point, and give a second present and now it goes all the way. And you leave the bar together with Mondo giving this really awful cheesy thumbs up to the camera as though we are watching him the whole time. The screen goes white. She says something like, oh, I hope to see you again soon, but here's a drill arm. You get, which is not in a cutscene or anything. You just get more text info popping up.
Yeah.
You now have a drill arm. Nice. This is what you can do with it. All right, thanks, I guess, but this is so dirty.
Was it worth dirtying your soul to get that drill arm, Justin?
Yeah, and there are, like I said, 4 of those missions pop up.
Yeah.
And apparently you're going to keep doing this again and again and again. And if you want any better weapons, this is the way to get them. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that part. I'm definitely not sure how I feel about that part. And I don't, like I said, I don't even like it as a minigame. It's kind of a dumb minigame and it doesn't work very well. I don't like that at all. And then to tack on the obvious creepiness of it, it's even worse. I don't know.
Thumbs up, Justin. Thanks for being my wingman. You dirty perv.
So that's the game. That's what I played in the hour.
So you didn't get to the unicorn in the forest.
No, not yet. No.
The unicorn in the forest with the vampire mission. You're missing out, Justin.
Yeah, well, there's still time.
Are you going to go back and play it again?
I don't know. Does it ever stop feeling like a tutorial? Because thus far...
I don't think so. I'll be straight up honest. I've played the next mission, which is you get on a talking unicorn that is like rides you into the forest to Dracula's house, pretty much. And then you've got to kill a vampire. The unicorn is like, let's just say, quite into you. Mm-hmm. I kept on failing that mission and I gave up. I just rage quit it at that point. I had fun up until that point. Yeah, I didn't like that mission with like the whole checking out this girl at the bar's tits and stuff. Like, just like, come on, just give me the weapon. But yeah, I got to the next mission. It was funny, but then it got too complicated. Yeah, it was just like there's too many buttons. Playing on keyboard and mouse is even worse because all those buttons are now mapped to a keyboard. So there's like thousands of buttons that you need to press and different combinations of them. So it got really hard and I just ended up giving up. So I only got a little bit further than you, but I wanted you to experience it.
But you gave this a thumbs up on Steam.
I did, yeah, because it's mad. It's absolute madness. And there's not really a lot of games out there like this. So, like I said, yeah.
This is a bit like Mind Game, the game.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, why not? So, who would you recommend this to, if anyone?
Anybody who likes Mind Game, the movie.
Okay.
It would have to be people who are into this kind of thing, who love really bad story, really weird dialogue choices. I almost think that to recommend it, I almost have to say, are you a pervert? Do you want to do this part? Because I think that that's going to be vital to being able to level up your character to get these weapons. And you're going to have to sit through it. So you have to have a bit of patience. You have to like having a lot of different combat choices because that's what the game is giving you. You're going to have to really like this kind of story that doesn't really make sense, but episodic wise, you can appreciate it, I guess. So there's not many people, I think. If you want something crazy, play it, but...
the closest that I could link it to, maybe something a bit more mainstream, it would be maybe like the Yakuza games.
Yeah, I haven't played those yet, so I could see that from what I've seen so far, but...
It's like a mad Yakuza game, basically, yeah.
Yeah, if you want something that's a bit more wild and makes, I'm going to guess, less sense.
Made zero sense to me so far. Alice met someone on the moon and became a giant spider. Like, okay.
Yeah, if you want something that's totally out there, maybe this is the thing for you. But I really think that Gigolo mission just put me off. I can see that. I was okay with the other parts and hoping that it gets to a point where it doesn't feel like a tutorial anymore, where it's not shoving information at me all the time. But if I have to keep doing those missions, I'm not sure how I feel about this game. And I've played other games where sex is a part of the game, but nothing felt so dirty as this one.
So, what tags would you classify this as then?
Well, pervy would probably be number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Hack and slash would be 2, because that is what it is. And 3, just bonkers. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, illogical, but the story is just so ridiculously out there. It's got to have a tag for that. And if Steam doesn't, maybe it's time that Steam made one.
And so, yeah, you got it for free, but we can't just always say for free it's always going to be a confirmation, because that's not fair. But what do you think?
If I paid $20, I would have been very upset.
Oh, yeah.
As far as time, like, I played it for an hour. No, it's definitely interesting. It's so out there and original, and in some ways original in its unoriginality.
Okay.
Bringing in...
Wrap your head around that.
Yeah. But bringing in Alice in Wonderland, it's not original to do that. So many things do that. Even the Batman Arkham games did that. But something about the way they do it here and the way that the characters are so cookie cutter from other things, but just thrown in here. There is something about that feels unique in the way that they've thrown it all together. Like, none of the elements themselves feel really original, but the fact that they're all here together in a way that makes no sense does feel a bit original. And certainly the art style is very interesting. Let me put it this way. If I had to play the full game, I'm not sure what kind of review I would give it. But just the first hour, I would say there were some good moments. I'm willing to be lenient. I'm going to say this was a confirmation.
Buyer's confirmation.
Ding. Wow.